Alright, welcome to today's video. We're going to be doing a top picks for the month of July. In no particular order, here are my top picks for this month. Number one is the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's a movie that's kind of odd and strange and kind of far out there, but I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. I felt like it had some really good themes and messages in it that were sprinkled throughout as well. You know, about like motherly love and like parents loving their children unconditionally, no matter what. And life and the stresses of life, and sometimes things don't go the way that we would want them to. Dealing with, like, maybe you feel like you haven't amounted to anything in your entire life, and how that's not necessarily so. Even if you feel like you haven't quote unquote achieved a lot of things, or success, whatever your definition of success is. It kind of talks about that topic, and I think that it's definitely in my top 10 movies lists. So if you have not seen the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once, I highly recommend that you go stream it wherever you can. I saw it in drive-in, but I know that not a lot of places actually had it in movie theater or drive-in, so good luck finding it on the interwebs. Number two is another show. It's on Netflix currently. It's The G Word with Adam Conover. Adam Conover, if you've seen any of his funny skits in that, it's pretty on par with the other previous work that he's done. Very slapstick comedy, but very informative at the same time. The G Word, the G stands for government. So Adam Conover goes through not all, but certain classes and subsections of the US government and kind of how they work, or quote unquote don't work, the issues and everything in between. It's pretty simple, straightforward. It's really good information. If you're not sure like how the USDA works, or how money works, or what happens when a bank can't pay back all the financing that they have, that's FDIC insured. What happens with that when a bank doesn't have money anymore? Very fascinating stuff, so check that out. It is currently being streamed on Netflix. Number three top pick is another show. I just decided to line them all up for you guys. So the third and final show that I have to share with you guys today in my top picks is The Mind Explained. It's currently being streamed on Netflix as well, and each section, each chapter, each episode of the documentary that the show is, they kind of break down and discuss more deep topics like dreams, anxiety, adolescent mental behavior, risk-taking, how adolescent brains compared to adult brains, trauma, PTSD, all of those things. And if you've checked out my related trauma videos and you found those very informative and interesting, and you'd like to kind of explore this topic a little bit more, I think this is a great direction to go into. It's not too heavy. It's just informational purposes. So if you're interested in that, definitely check that out. Again, it's The Mind Explained on Netflix. Number four is the Self-Love Workbook for Women. Will you go grab yours? Because I was gonna highlight yours for men.
Yeah. So this is just proof that men were just a lot more simple, okay? We just
way smaller.
Tell us a couple of things and we'll figure it out. And yeah, there you go.
Thanks. So, like I said, Self-Love Workbook. This one's for women, and this is $10 on Amazon. But I did want to highlight, because there's a lot of guys that watch my channel, there is a Self-Love Workbook for men as well. And I felt like this one was really influential for me. It had a lot of like examples, reading material, but then also like a lot of writing prompts and stuff, stuff that you color in, stuff that you just write in, just stuff to like ask yourself questions to kind of figure out like, break down your thought processes and really accurately look at yourself internally. Because, maybe you're just starting aware that maybe you don't actually love yourself the way that you probably should, Or maybe you just don't even know what self-love is. Maybe you feel like you do love yourself, but maybe you don't have as much self-compassion, or, you know, maybe you don't trust yourself the way that you think that you do. So this book was super influential for me. And I believe this workbook, my husband's like, yes, it was fantastic. I know that he read it in like a week. It's just reading material, but I know that a lot of the things that my husband would read, they were similar to what was in here. I think maybe just women need a little bit more help of like writing stuff down, writing it out, doing activities and coloring activities for us to like cognitively get it and connect it in our brains. So there's those. I highly recommend, if you've been doing any self-help, self-healing journey stuff, or maybe you've thought that it's too woo-woo and stuff like that, but maybe you're struggling with yourself, your inner voice, and maybe struggling with relationships with other people, because you don't know, but the way that you talk to others is usually how you talk to yourself. So if you're having a lot of like negative interactions with other people, probably because you're having negative interactions with yourself. So definitely recommend that. Check it out. And then last but not least, kind of ties to the last one. This is another book in my self-healing journey that is super important and very helpful. The questions, they're just writing prompts, and you just write down your answers to how you feel about things. Sometimes it has you draw stuff out, but this is a journey within, an introspective activity journal to help you get to know yourself better. Some of the questions that are in here, you know, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, but I'll just read some out to you. So what type of communicator are you? And then what type of listener are you? And then describe the company you keep or your inner circle. Do you have a problem being alone? And if so, how does that negatively affect your life? You know, because if you're someone who's codependent like I was, that might give you some clues and some breadcrumbs to figure out like, oh, maybe I have a problem here. Or, you know, maybe I never thought of that. I never decided to ask myself those questions, and I don't even know how I feel about that. But once you become self-aware, then you can start naming things, naming your enemies, naming your problems, and then you can start to tackle them. And so this book is super influential with that. And just as a tip, if you guys haven't seen my trauma videos, but if you're doing any self-help, self-healing, make sure to go slow, take your time. You know, you don't need to run through this book immediately in like a month. You know, same with these. Go slow, take your time, really digest over some of the questions that are asked, because you'll be able to help yourself more by taking your time and really investing in yourself in those few questions. So just take breaks. It's a lot of work, and it can feel like a lot at first, and even through the journey, I still have tough days. But just remember to give yourself compassion, right? Self-compassion if you don't have it, self-love, and take breaks. And that's it, guys. Those are my top picks for this month. If you liked any of these things or are interested, go ahead and check the description box. I will have links to everything down below, so if you're interested, check that out. If you have anything that you would like to discuss or anything that you're interested in me checking out, leave a comment down in the comment section. I love to talk to everybody there, and I am excited to see you guys down there as well. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching. Remember, I love every single one of you. I hope that you have a great day. Remember to spread kindness to yourself and to others, and I'll see you in my next video.